As I described in the first video of this short series on QNI, in the Network Activity tab, you're going to get the standard net flows that you were getting before from the network, as well as IPv flows that are produced by QNI. Let's actually see, there are multiple ways of telling them apart, but the idea is not to have to, because now you have rules that can fire regardless of where they are coming from. Let me take a look at this one, for example. This is obviously a Quad 9. It's a miscellaneous domain, so it's a DNS thing. And as you can see here, the application determination algorithm is QRadar port-based mapping. Basically, QRadar is inferring that because this came from port 53, it is a DNS thing. If we look at other type of traffic, let's take a look at this one that has the 00, and you'll see why I am bringing this to the attention. Here in the field application determination algorithm, you'll see that it's a QNI inspector. So this is QNI in action, right? So in this particular case, it's not inferring that this is port 53. It's actually extracting some fields from the DNS payload. Okay, so this is a way of exemplifying this, and it's actually quite easy to see, to visualize which comes from QNI, because typically they have 0 in the source byte and destination byte, because these were created, put in IPv format and sent to QRadar for the engine there to work. We can see another example here. This one, the application determination again is QNI, and notice that it extracted a whole bunch of information about the certificate. All this stuff is in the payload, and that's how QNI was able to pull it. But now that means that you can actually take all this information and have rule that fires on any one of the content of that payload. But I think a better way of showing you the value of this is what I always come back into is in QRadar, which is the rules. And you get those rules. You don't need to create those. If you go to the App Exchange and you search for QNI, you're going to get these packages. There are some more in here. And these work by, and there actually are 3 pages of those. Right? These are things that work when QRadar gets information from the payload in QNI. And I encourage you to take a look at these packages and download the one that you consider appropriate. But they are going to come with a ton of rules that work on that. For example, it's actually, I'm going to click on the first one, and I hope I'm not wrong in here that this one has 22 rules, and then you can inspect in every one of those, and you'll see what's in there. Now, when you got QNI working, sending you that information into QRadar, and you got those rules installed from those packages, generally speaking, you are good to start receiving and detecting strange things in there. Let's actually show some example. And most of those rules, not all of them, have the word QNI in the rules name. So from 930, we have 34 of those rules. I'm going to be already in part 1, analyze 1, in which QRadar can determine whether the content of a file has been faked with the extension. Let's actually see some more examples. And also I show you the one of file hash. So let's see more elaborated examples where QRadar can help you once you bring QNI and those rules in. I'm gonna go around and see the things that might be interesting. So notice that in here is showing the capability that it has it can read what is in the payload on the email, and it can see the content subject, and it can see email sender, it can see rejected emails. I think there's one for rejected emails that I've seen before. Let me find it. Yeah, this is another example. It's going from remote to local, from the outside in, and it's rejected email recipient. So it can read the actual, somebody is looking for the field or recipient, who's the destination of the email, and when it's not an A, meaning that it's populated, and had been received at least 3 of them in the last hour. So capabilities of doing things with email. It's actually keep on looking. As you see, there are many things that have to do with bad certificates and invalid certificates and stuff like that. So let's actually see this one. What is it that is in here? Okay, so now this is very interesting, because this indicates that there is, from the opposite side, from the inside out, local to remote, and it's going to countries that we should not be doing business with, and it finds suspect content description means that there had been PDF, emails, Word documents, Excel, that has the word confidential in it. Very powerful stuff. So now you know that data has been going out having that word there. And of course, you can go further in Curia, and we may do something else in which you can find with Jara rules, other type of content, or different than the word confidential in it. But you get the picture on the capabilities of what this tool can actually do. Let's see some more rules. It's a very similar one. And by the way, you can always go, let me open another Curator view. Of course, when the rule fire is going to have, when the rule fires, is going to have those flows in it. But if you want to search for those things kind of manually, you can add a filter, and is subject content descriptors equal in any of, and it was confidential content, right? And probably I won't have any in here. This will be the way in which you look for those, right? If I go back, like 6 hours or so, I'm not going to find any. But if actually there's one, I fire a whole bunch of attacks in here, replay a bunch of logs and flows. And I'm glad it fired in here. Notice that in here we got details that could only have come from the actual payload of the packet. And this is on an HTTP traffic, and we have the suspect content here, confidential content. That's what it found it in here. So, and you get file hashes that were computed for you. So this is another level of inspection. This is the one that we analyzed in part 1. But to keep this video short, I think this is interesting one. Email attachment with executable. It's very powerful. Looking inside the content of the actual email and identifying that there is a file that is actually an executable. Actually, I'm curious. Let's see which are those executable extensions. Obviously, exe and maybe sh. Let's actually go into the data management. This is a free app, the data management, reference data management app. Let's actually look in here for the word executable, right? To find that reference set, and this is the one, 181. Wow. All these things are executable. Let's quickly scroll down. I didn't even know that all these things could be executable. We should find exe here. Yeah, there is exe, and maybe SSH and Unix. Well, again, you see the power of this. This can be invaluable, detecting executable file. Let's say that you may have a tool that does this from the mail, proof mail type of thing, but if something escaped to that, then you have QNI. QNI is not going to miss it. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here to keep them around 10 minutes, and then we're going to be talking on the next one about encryption and what are the things that we need to do, and what are to really inspect traffic once it's been decrypted, and what can I do when I have no way of decrypting the traffic.